Why, hello, fellow Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events, modern issues, and culture, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today, we're going to be doing a first-time viewing reaction to Samson's song, What About Us? This song, as well as the other Samson songs on the channel, were recommended to us by user Linus Blinus, so thank you very much for those recommendations, as I have enjoyed Samson's music up to this point a great deal. But before we get started on today's speech, I want to share with you a great collaboration deal that we have with the Rogue Dermatologist. Patriots, a lot of you have been asking about the Second Amendment acrylic print that sits behind me in all of my videos. The Rogue Dermatologist, Dr. Yuval Bibi, and myself have collaborated to bring you a limited time offer. Head on over to epidermalexpressions.com. Under America's First, go to Constitutional Eye Chart. Scroll down to the rolled poster, and as you can see, this rolled poster normally retails for $20. Go ahead and add one of those to your cart. Go to checkout, enter the code PDPoster, and the first 50 Patriots can claim their own 9x11 rolled poster. Just covers shipping and handling. So follow the link down in the description below and act fast before this deal is over. And back to the video. I couldn't find the lyrics on this one, but you know what? We're just going to do the best that we can. So let's get it pulled up. It's true.
Don't tread on me. Those are words that I stand by, homie. It doesn't mean I'm gangster, it doesn't mean I'm country. It means that my life is in my hands only. I don't have money for security, I don't have armed guards that I keep snug around me. You don't think I deserve protection like you do, and that means you don't give a fuck about me. Gated community, that's what you live in. Hatred and mutiny, that's what we live in. So come down here and hang with us for a minute. See if you leave with the same fucking opinion. Who's gonna help me?
I mean, it's an interesting start, right? He's got a good point. These people live in their ivory tower and make rules for the rest of us that they don't really have to deal with. Maybe if the people in Congress and the people in charge of this country actually had to live by the rules that they created, maybe they'd make a little fewer, we'll just say, dumb rules. What are your thoughts?
So come down here and hang with us for a minute. See if you leave with the same fucking opinion. Who's gonna help me out if I get robbed? What if somebody were to beat up my mother? Who's gonna be there to save our lives? You? Nah, me, motherfucker. I'm the only one that's got my back. It's dog eat dog, these are not no cats. There's cops in Michigan that can't even respond to their calls because their cars ain't got no gas. Great. Police don't have any fuel. You don't know if they'll arrive when you call them.
Although real quick, I just want to go back. Notice he has good trigger discipline at least. That hammer's back. He says there's rounds in it, but also notice his finger's not on the trigger, so good job on the trigger discipline. But he's right. If somebody attacks you or your grandparents or any of these other crazy videos you see, like New York City right now, where women are just being randomly punched in the face for no reason by people on the street. If you find yourself in one of those situations and your life is at risk, are you going to wait for 10, 15, 20 minutes for the cops to maybe never show up? I don't recommend it. And I will tell you, I take responsibility for my and my family's safety. Do you? Or do you wait for some other man to show up and do your job? Decent point. I'd recommend being self-reliant on this one, folks. Just saying.
Calls because the cars ain't got no gas. Great. Police don't have any fuel. You don't know if they'll arrive when you call them. The babies are starving. My girlfriend can't find a tampon, and yet somehow you and I are the problem. Somehow. I've never bought a gun without having my background scanned and approved. The only loophole I've seen on a gun is the one that you put a fucking lanyard through. It's not true that you can go to the store and just swipe your card and get a Glock and run. It's funny, the people that say that shit have literally never even shot one. Dumbass. Hey, Matthew McConaughey. Shut the fuck up. Just cause you've murdered people on screen doesn't mean you know shit about guns, you dumb fuck. What, you worried about us? What about all of those violent movies that you played? How about you go talk to Alec Baldwin before you start telling me what to do, okay? Uvalde, I was horrified by it.
Oh, first take shots at Alec Baldwin, so good job on that one, because yes, Alec Baldwin committed homicide. That is a fact. That's it. He pointed a gun at somebody, pulled the trigger, and they died. Now, the circumstances around it, that's for the court to decide. But that is a fact. And the fact that these celebrities like to get on TV and tell me that I can't have a gun that I want to buy, but then they portray themselves just John Wicking themselves but then they portray themselves just Liam Neesoning their way through a crowd and just killing dozens and dozens of people in a movie, like that's okay. So let's play it in media and glamorize it, but then demonize it when the normies want a gun. Yeah, please get the fuck out. And he's about to talk about Uvalde. We'll see what he says. But my take on all these shootings, stop putting all these kids on medication. Start instituting discipline and expectations of children. Also, the parents of these kids who are getting a hold of these guns are probably partially liable, at least from a civil standpoint, as most of these kids should not have had access to the guns that they used to commit these crimes. So it makes you wonder, did somebody want it to happen? It always seems that every time gun control dies out in the media and it's not really talked about, that we get another mass murder or shooting. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but it's awfully convenient that every time they want to bring it back up, there's just another mass shooting.
That's your hometown, you were born right by it. It probably cuts deep, and I hope that it does, cause you work in an industry that glorifies violence. It's more your fault than it will ever be mine. Lord only knows how many crimes that you've influenced throughout your whole career, cause I've seen you kill people plenty of times. What do you think is gonna cause a shooting? A YouTube video of a gun review? Or a Hollywood murder scene that seems so realistic it looks like it's from the news? So next time that you wanna point your finger with a stupid opinion and chime in with it, remember, it ain't me that they're trying to be like, dog. It's you that they're trying to mimic. I feel way more safe in a place where the people are legally armed. If something happens like a mass shooting, I have a way less chance of being lethally harmed. A criminal is gonna think twice if he knows everybody is a piece underneath their clothes. And Mayor Lightfoot will probably tell you different, but have you seen Chicago?
I think you mean Chirac, but he's correct. You don't really see these mass murders in areas where people are more heavily armed, because you come to my neck of the woods and you try that, I guarantee you a handful of people at a minimum within close proximity of you are also carrying a gun. People don't tolerate the victimization of innocent people over here. Now, why they do in the big cities is beyond me. That's partly the dehumanizing of people in these Democrat-run cities. You go about your daily life and you don't think about the other human beings that exist around you. You don't talk to any of them. You don't want to associate with any of them, and you don't treat any of them well. So why would you be surprised when nobody wants to come to your aid in a time of crisis? You really shouldn't be. Maybe if you rebuilt some of your communities and didn't treat them like war zones, you'd have less of this. Maybe. Or I don't know, elect different people to leadership in your city. Maybe that might help. You've tried the Democrat Party for so long and it hasn't worked. Try something else.
Underneath their clothes, and Mayor Lightfoot will probably tell you different, but have you seen Chicago? And no, before you ask, I don't want to be like Canada either, and I don't want to be like Australia. I'm sick of everybody using them as a humanity meter. There's a reason that they can do whatever they want to their citizens, like fucking throw them in camps. And there's a reason that our government doesn't even try that shit, cause they know that they can't. If you don't think for one split second that if we didn't have our Second Amendment, the government wouldn't overstep its boundaries and make us do shit even when we're against it, you're out of your mind. I don't give a damn where you stand or how or what you vote. That's dandy and fine if you trust Uncle Sam, but I, for one, fucking don't. And why would I? What have they done? Give me a reason for me to believe them. They want to trade me a little security in exchange for a big-ass piece of my freedom. They don't want to take away guns because they care about you and they want to keep you safe at night. They want to take away guns because it's easy to control people if they don't have any way to fight. Hey, buddy, what your little AR-15 gonna do with the government?
I can see where they're going here in just a second with that one comment that just got made in the song. But yeah, the Second Amendment only exists to secure the First and all the others, and everything is rooted in private property rights. The insanity that happened after 2020 with the COVID crisis and how quickly the majority of America just turned over and took it really surprised me. I did not think it would escalate as fast as it did or go as crazy as it did, but it did. So we've effectively told the government that they can get away with at least that much. That was probably a really bad message to send them, but we'll see what they do with that information going forward, because it's only going to get worse. The government's not going to give up authority and power that it's already taken. At least it never seems to have in the past. So we'll see where this goes. We are coming up on another election this year, and so far 2024 has already been a little bit out of pocket. So let's hope it doesn't get too much worse, eh? But it probably will.
Control people if they don't have any way to fight. Hey buddy, what your little AR-15 gonna do when the government comes to take it? Well, Ukraine started handing out rifles to all of the citizens when the Russians invaded, so what about that? I thought it wouldn't help. I guarantee that it'd be better than nothing. I hope it never does, but if the day comes, I bet that you're gonna wish that you had something. This is the only country on earth where the people have real strength. And nowadays, with all the shit going on, it's the only thing that makes me feel safe. If there's anything that I've learned in the past couple years looking back at the pandemic, all of the shit that we have is fragile, and it could snap at any second. Fuck all of the politicians. I don't trust.
Like I just said, COVID, it was a really bad demonstration on what the government could get away with. And yeah, it's funny how they always say AR-15s aren't going to help you with the government. But how long did the people in Afghanistan and Iraq and other places with some AK-47s keep the U.S. military at bay? Sure, they got drone striked and other things all to hell, but you know what? Did we actually win? How's Afghanistan looking these days? Just saying. And I support his sentiment right here. Definitely. The two fingers for the current government. Absolutely.
Fragile, and it could snap at any second. Fuck all of the politicians. I don't trust anything they say. Take the word gun out of gun control, and that's all that it is at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck how crazy you think that I look or I sound when I say this shit, but our Second Amendment's the only thing that stands between us and a dictatorship.
Yeah, pretty much.
And as for the kids, I'm not a security expert, so I won't act like one. But I think that if we can send over $50 billion to Ukraine, we could surely spend that much, or more, or less, here in our own country to fortify our schools and make them more secure so that every kid can get an education safe and sound. Place several trained armed guards in every school across America. You know, real men who won't stand by for 45 minutes in the hallway while a shooting unfolds in front of their own eyes. And pay them well, too. There's veterans that need the work. Why not protect our kids the same way that we protect you? Politicians are protected by guns. Celebrities are protected by guns. Every important person that walks this earth is protected by a gun. But our kids, they're important. Just not as much as you.
Ooh. Now that was a pretty fire message coming out of the end there. Yeah, why is it that we're so comfortable sending tens of billions, now well over $100 billion to fight a war somewhere else? Now, part of that is tied to monetary policy. Being the world's reserve currency, to print that much money and spend it at home would have catastrophic inflation consequences. Now, I'm not an economist, but I do understand the basic principles of money printing and inflation. It's the same reason why we send financial aid overseas to so many countries. We want to get them addicted and hooked to the dollar so that they have a vested interest in keeping the US dollar afloat. If we didn't send that money elsewhere and we spent it here, we would just have rampant inflation and no one would care what happened to the dollar. Now, should we be the world reserve currency? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an economist, but in the end, it kind of seems like probably not. I don't know, but I like the message in this song. It is pretty good. So thank you to those of you that made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this one on the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the little bell icon and select all notifications so that you can be notified when I upload additional content. Share this video with friends and family to increase awareness and spread the message, as well as just enjoy some great music by Samson. If you have a recommendation for a future song or topic on this channel, please make sure you leave it in a comment below, as most of the videos and reactions on this channel come from recommendations from viewers just like you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. God bless, and bye for now. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.